Alright, so I really didn't want to make this video talking about this because I'm so tired of this Goku talk, but granted, I am one of the biggest Goku fans, if not the biggest Goku fan on this platform. And I know a lot of people want me to like defend different variations of Goku or criticize different variations of Goku. But this debate on like who's the true better continuation of Z Goku is annoying to me. It's like the same thing if Goku's a bad dad, Piccolo versus Goku, Goku versus Vegeta. Certain topics in the Dragon Ball community is repeated a lot, and I just don't really feel like doing that because if I agree too much, it's like co-signing every person who just dogs on Super and there's no nuance. But if I defend it, I sound like a shill. But this is from Six. I've seen this video roaming around. I know a lot of people want to respond to it, so I'm going to react and we're going to cut into like his opinions. Then I'm going to say my takes. And yeah, man. And I know a lot of people also want me to talk about if does Gaki suck video. I haven't seen that either. So I might agree, I might disagree. So let's get to it, man. Let's just get right into it.
Ever since Dragon Ball Super started, Goku has felt like a shell of his former self in every way. I've narrowed this down to 4 main points. That there are glimpses of Goku's old and mature character coming out, but as I'll touch on in this video, those examples just feel jarring and at odds with the rest of how Goku's character is written in Super.
I agree to that because Goku's character, I would argue in Super, is like kind of inconsistent. Like with Dragon Ball GT, it was just kind of consistent that Goku just didn't take anyone seriously until he was Super Saiyan 4. While with Super, it's like he'll have moments, I would say about like 70 to 30, where he'd be like 70% Z, out of nowhere 30% he starts acting weird.
Because he may give off that old Goku energy, but it's like the words he's saying or his actions don't truly reflect what Goku would do in the same situation. But Goku's giving him a senzu bean is utterly out of character.
I would say it's not. Funny enough, even watching Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, the Piccolo DLC, he gave a senzu bean to Piccolo Jr., he gave a senzu bean to Vegeta in the Namek arc after they fought the Ginyu Force. He gave a senzu bean to Perfect Cell. Like, it's pretty in character. Granted, did he do it in the Buu saga? You know, that's like the time, but he's done it like 3 times. And also, I think I've seen his Twitter post about it, so I'm not going to try to make it sound like I can't read or whatever, because that's usually the go-to with Dragon Ball fans now. All you say is like, oh, this person can't read. But yeah, this kind of goes into the debate on like, does Goku continue to let people live talk? But I'm going to let him continue talking before I get my response.
Moro lost to Goku fair and square. Goku fought and beat him. There is no reason for Moro to get a senzu bean from Goku. It just feels like a regression of his character, where Z Goku would never make this same decision.
Z Goku gave a senzu bean to Vegeta and the Perfect Cell, but I would argue this is Goku's Saiyan side overcoming his Earthling side, because the Saiyan side wants to like test his abilities and like prove himself, while the Earthling side wants to humble him and break his ego and hopefully have him become a better person, because he doesn't like the fact that seeing someone so strong be wasted in that way. So like the Earthling side wants to see the good in him, while the Saiyan side also wants to break him and like pretty much have a rival. He probably would have done the same thing to Hit, both in the anime because the anime he tries to assassinate him and stuff. So yeah, that's part of Goku's character. I'm not gonna lie, even though I prefer the Goku. Actually, the Goku in the Cell saga is actually a rarity, because even when he fought like Kid Buu, forgive me if I'm wrong, but like he even mentions that he was kind of BSing around fighting Kid Buu because he kind of wanted to give Vegeta a chance. Granted, there's different translations on that, and he also could have beat Majin Buu when he fought him when he was like fat, but he said that he wanted the next generation to step in because he's not always going to be around. So like Goku finishing the job type stuff is more rare than you think it is for Z Goku.
Now that that's been made clear, let's take a look at a page from the arc where people think Goku was the most stupid, that being the Cell arc, and look at how he talks to Gohan. He's telling Gohan to not let Cell get desperate and to hurry and finish him off. This is something that Whis has to echo to Goku later on, as he doesn't finish Moro off but lets him get desperate and merges with the planet. I'll talk about how this mercy is inconsistent with Goku's character obviously throughout the video, but let's talk about the first point I mentioned, which is that Goku has seemingly lost touch with what being a fighter means. Raditz is saying how there could be even more of Goku and Piccolo put up against him and they'd still be no match for him since he's just that much stronger. Goku's immediate response is, if you think power is everything, then you are no fighter. I'll say it one more time.
Yeah, you said that.
Goku's immediate response is, if you think power is everything, you are no fighter. Fast forward to the Tournament of Power, and Master Roshi
I know he's gonna mention that Goku needed more power to go against Jiren, which it's funny because even though I agree with this, but there is nuance to this because sometimes you're gonna need a lot more power if you feel like you can't match in terms of the martial arts. But I do agree with what he's saying though. Like, I understand what he's trying to say.
That he's still only half baked, and asks Goku what strength means to him. And Goku responds that even his Super Saiyan Blue form can't keep up with Jiren, so he guesses he needs some kind of greater power. Master Roshi tells Goku until he learns not to get all caught up in the enemy's power, he'll still be as green as the day they met. But like I mentioned earlier, this is something Goku already knows.
You know, but here's the thing that because this is not even to kind of go against his point, but I would like to argue that Goku's character, he's a person where you can argue regression, but people all the time have moments where they kind of forget where they came from, or with different contexts. Like, for example, you're a person, like you're like in football, right? You know that you have to have great technique to like be fast in that sport or something, right? We're still talking about martial arts, of course. But if you're going against someone who is so overwhelmingly faster than you, you start feeling like, okay, the technique I'm trying to do ain't working. I need more speed. And granted, in hindsight, you'd be like, nah, bro, you got to follow the technique that got you this far. Maybe, in my personal opinion, maybe it's just Jiren's overwhelming strength that made him feel that what he learned before is not good enough in that situation. But I kind of feel like that's cope. But I think that's what it is. I feel like so many times people critique characters either like forgetting or contradicting what they said. It's kind of a human thing as you get older, regardless, to like change your mind or think about things differently as you get older, especially where you're going from fighting someone who's like maybe 2 times stronger than you than facing Jiren, who the dude was like ridiculously more powerful.
Even up to the Cell arc, Goku is still being called the greatest martial artist on Earth. To give credit to the anime, this seems to be a manga-only plotline for Goku.
Yeah, it is.
Here.
It's manga.
Since in his fight against Kefla, Goku seems to be winning the fight against her despite Whis and Champa's implications that she's actually stronger than him. Whis says that only a true martial artist could do what Goku is doing here in this fight. I have 2 more points.
Yeah, that's the problem with Dragon Ball Super. It's like there's moments where Goku gets credit for being the best martial artist, especially when Goku's fighting Jiren, when he's using the Destructo Disc and using different techniques. I feel like he's given more credit in that. And I remember in the manga, I could be wrong, but it's just the implications of how he's using Ultra Instinct, how much of a martial artist he is. And like even how he's handling like people like Granola and stuff. Like there's great moments in there. It's just, again, it's moments and inconsistency. That's the biggest problem.
Goku in Resurrection F lets Frieza get desperate, and due to it, he's caught off guard and put down by a common ray gun. Also, Goku letting his guard down in Super is a completely new thing that didn't happen in Z, and he was always...
Well, that's not really correct. Well, granted, it happened in Dragon Ball because Goku let his guard down against Piccolo Jr. And that's how he got shot, and that's how Goku was in that situation anyway, where he had to fly and give Piccolo a headbutt. But in Z, I'm trying to remember that fully, if there's any other situations like that in Z. Goku lets his guard down a couple times in Dragon Ball Z. One with Raditz, of course. He believes in Raditz and what he's saying, so he lets his guard down and he gets clocked for it. He lets his guard down against Captain Ginyu because he pretty much had everything under control, but he just lets his guard down and allows Captain Ginyu to do change, and that's how Goku gets his body stolen, because he lets his guard down. Then, right when he's fighting Frieza, he lets his guard down technically twice against Frieza. The one time is because he's overconfident and he pretty much says, I broke her ego, and I'm satisfied now. And that's where kind of like the ego kind of comes in, and he flies away, and he almost gets sliced by Frieza's Destructo disc, but he dodges it, but he gets a cut on his face. Then the second time, we know the classic, Goku's prepared this time, and he does you fool, and he shoots a blast at him. And the last time I could see, he's not really in the Cell Saga that long, but in the Buu Saga, he lets his guard down pretty much overconfidence, because when Buu loses the Go tanks and he turns to Piccolo Buu, he just pretty much goes down to base and he says like, oh, well, Gohan can handle you. And then when Gohan gets absorbed, he's like, oh crap, I messed up. And in the anime, it's a little bit more ridiculous because he says, no, Gohan, we don't need the Patara earrings anymore. He's too weak now. So, yeah, those are a few moments of Goku letting his guard down in Z. At least from what I can remember, what I found.
Alert and even lectured some of his opponents for not being on guard when they should, like Raccoon and Jace, who is how he's now willing to let villains leave to live another day. This is no more apparent than it is with Frieza, because Frieza is the one who taught Goku this lesson the first time.
Well, you say that, but Goku kind of knew that he let Frieza live. Because he didn't really kill Frieza here. Remember, Goku knew that Frieza didn't die here. Because he was not surprised about Frieza being still around. And he was still goofing off with Majin Buu because he wanted Goten and Trunks to, be ready for the next generation. He was on that next generation stuff in the Buu Saga. So even in the Buu Saga, he wasn't fully, of course, with Super Buu and Buuhan, when the opponent is overwhelmingly stronger, that's when Goku's like, okay, they're too strong, we gotta take them out. But when they're around the same strength as Goku, he be letting them, he be trying to convince them and tries to break their ego. There's a great video that y'all need to watch. It's called Goku the Ego Breaker. You should really check that out.
In response, but he feels genuinely sad about the fact that Frieza wouldn't change.
Yep.
Even though Goku blasted Frieza away though, he didn't put his all into the blast, and that would come back to potentially endanger the lives of his friends.
Yep.
Had it not been for his acquiring of instant transmission and or Trunks' interference.
Yep, in
Goku
both
does
timelines.
claim that he was too soft on Frieza, but I'm pretty sure this is in reference to him not blasting him at full power.
Yeah, so I was right. I read.
Before anyone tries to bring up how that's contradictory to Goku not ending Fat Buu when he had the chance,
okay,
I just want to say that it's not. Goku didn't end Buu because he wanted to leave way for the next generation.
Oh yeah, that's what I said.
To do it, and it wasn't his place in the world to do so, because he shouldn't even exist in that world anymore. He just got the one-day free pass to come back. Someone has to protect Earth while Goku is gone.
Yeah,
he does not intend on coming back again after this day.
But that kind of, even though I understand where Goku's coming from, you can still argue that's Goku BSing though. Goku's still my favorite character, but I don't care if he shouldn't exist. If you're going by that logic that he learned to take people out, great, this is plot. This is the main reason why Goku didn't beat. Because, mind you, he didn't beat Majin Vegeta instantly. Granted, Super Saiyan 3 would have wasted his time limit, but he could have beat Majin Vegeta with Super Saiyan 3, and he could have beat Majin Buu right there and then. So even though the whole point was to test the new generation, that still kind of goes towards the point of Goku giving mercy to Majin Vegeta or protecting his ego. And then with Fat Buu, it's I get that point, but it still kind of goes down to the point of Goku kind of messing around and trying to use his other ideologies instead of just finishing the job like he was preaching in the Cell Saga. It feels weird going against my boy Goku like that, but it fits his character, to be honest. The Saiyan side is kicking in.
It is in every way the Supreme Kai's job to protect the universe. So if Goku was in the Supreme Kai's position or he was alive, he would have ended Fat Buu in that moment. So why is Goku telling Frieza in Resurrection F that he wouldn't think less of him if he just went on home? That's okay. How is this not just blatant character regression on top of being stupid? Frieza just showed
again, what I just said earlier, is when Goku's around the same strength level, he is trying to break people's ego, and what you said in the Buu Saga, he was trying to use pretty much he's trying to break someone's ego and try to make them a better person through martial arts, or he's trying to have someone in the next generation to come in because he feels like it's not his right to do so. Like, it's all still not just killing the enemy and getting the job done, like you said earlier. So it's pretty consistent depending on what ideology he's going with. Like when he's dead, he wants the next generation to take over. When he's alive, he's trying to see if he can break their ego so they become a better person through martial arts. And I don't know why he felt that way with Frieza, because even like after he was so pissed about Frieza killing Krillin, he still tried to let him go anyway. So you can say he learned the lesson after, but even post that, he was still trying to do that, even with Fat Boo, because he sensed good in him. Why he even said it with Kid Boo? Because he wanted to come back good again.
Goku's like, hey man, just come back when you're stronger again. It'll be cool. I won't think less of you for it. That's just stupid. Then there's
it's stupid, but he did that with like almost everyone. Like, I'm not saying it excuses it, but like with Piccolo, he did that. With Vegeta, he did that. With Frieza, he tried to do that, didn't work. The Cell Saga, that was like the one outlier. The Boo Saga, he did that again. So like the Cell Saga is the one outlier that you're really relying on for your argument.
When did Goku get an ego? Whis points out that Goku is too relaxed when fighting, and that's obviously a bad thing. But then he says Goku has an issue with overconfidence and that he often lets his guard down due to him being overconfident.
He has his guard down when he's facing someone he's overwhelmingly stronger than. Like, he'd be showing off against Nappa, the Ginyu Force, Majin Buu when they was fighting. But the overconfidence part is a thing with the Kid Buu situations. Like, if he would have went all out in Super Saiyan 3 with a full blast, he would have been able to beat Kid Buu. I gotta make sure I put like a picture.
When did this happen? The trait of overconfidence has always been ascribed to Vegeta.
It is a thing with Vegeta. That is like the big thing for Vegeta.
Sort of an ego isn't even during a fight. It's after he leaves the room of spirit and time and he makes that remark to Vegeta about how he's now way stronger than him. Second, what about this implies overconfidence in his own abilities? The answer is nothing.
I would disagree with that. Like what I said earlier, is I think the overconfidence kind of comes from the fact that he believes that if he's more powerful than someone, he can pretty much crush their ego with martial arts, and he thinks martial arts will make people a better person. like with Fat Boo, with like different things like that. But the Boo Saga, like the Cell Saga, is the outlier because Goku's barely in that art. So yeah, like, and he doesn't really have time with Cell because he knows he can't beat Cell. He's not around the same power level. He knows Gohan is stronger than him already with Super Saiyan, and in the anime, he already saw that Gohan can go Super Saiyan 2. So like, yeah, like it's different when it's someone else with him. Like if it's someone else fighting, he wants them to finish him off. But when he's fighting and he's around the same power level as them, he wants to do that game. But if the opponent is way stronger, like a Buuhan situation, or especially like, actually he even tries to finish off Goku Black and Fusamasu in the manga before they fuse, when Vegeta couldn't get the job done, but then they fuse. So like, and he was going to kill Fusamasu in the manga. He was going to erase him too. So like, again, when the opponent is extremely way over his power level and he can't deal with it, he's more willing to go to full kill mode. But when he has a chance to like try to like help him out or whatever, he will attempt it. But in the anime, is more consistent with the killing stuff. Like, it's like he literally kills Golden Frieza right after. But let me know in the comment section down below if you feel like I'm like not providing a good enough argument.
Lets Frieza get desperate and is shot off guard by a common ray gun for a weakling. I'm gonna keep bringing that up, by the way. I
know you do, and also it's kind of better in the anime where he's in base. But yeah, in Resurrection F, the movie, he's in blue. So yeah.
How they even expected to pass this off as believable. Goku learns from Mr. Popo not to only look with his eyes, and Goku does learn this because he uses it on Tien in the very next.
It's funny that you say this, but this is this is Kid Goku, and you're gonna go by the logic that he already learned this. But with Piccolo Jr., he is so prepared to beat him, and he's like putting the thumbs up, and he's excited. And then Piccolo shoots him in the chest, and Goku's lucky because Piccolo missed all his vital or
learned the skill. So by all accounts, Goku should have known that Sorbet was going to shoot this ray at him. The last thing I want to talk about is Goku.
You did not mention the Piccolo Jr. shit. like again, like I'm not even trying to like give like a point like, oh, you're like missing context or doing this on purpose. Maybe you just didn't remember, but like he totally assumed that he won the fight and he got shot. But
being carefree and or childish in response to danger or threats that could put his family in jeopardy. There's a very popular example of this, and it's not canon, but something redrawn. It's Goku.
I don't want to hear this. Like, this is not how Goku responds to everything. Like, I don't like, even when he saw Moro, he sensed the danger. Like, I understand the meme, but this is not a thing.
It's part of his Saiyan nature.
Yeah.
But even within that, he can be scared and or understand that it's time to put someone down rather than play around and have a fight with them.
You say that, but he literally did this in the Frieza saga though. Like, even though Frieza killed his best friend, he still started enjoying the fight anyway. And even though he did it to protect his friends, him staying on planet Namek was a completely selfish decision. Like, that's why I like Goku, because even though he's a hero, and I will argue that throughout the entire series, he's still a hero, despite what Kiritorama wants to argue. That part of the Saiyan side, he still likes, like, even though he can face the person who took away his best friend, he can still smile and enjoy the fight anyway. Even in the Cell saga, he was enjoying the fight with Cell, even though he told Gohan to finish the job. He was actually enjoying the fight with Cell. So again, I feel like you're missing some points to push a narrative. And I feel like I'm just kind of annoyed because I'm so tired of seeing that freaking DBS Goku meme.
Put this guy down with one shot.
Majin Vegeta in the Buu saga. It's a thing, bruh. I don't know what to tell you. Like, he could have beat Majin Vegeta. Granted, his time limit would increase, but like, yeah, it's a thing.
This guy who has been terrorizing Trunks' future. To make myself more clear and to point out exactly why I miss the old Goku, I want to talk about Goku's learning from his experience with Frieza one more time. But I want to
you can say I'm just gonna let him talk.
Expand on it a little bit more. Goku really started sparing people around Piccolo Jr. That's the first time he gave an opponent a sense.
I love how you mentioned Piccolo Jr. We did not mention him getting shot, but whatever. Let's continue.
It's fitting here because Goku has well demonstrated that he is stronger than Piccolo, and he isn't ready to.
Also, he's done this mercy thing before. He actually tried to do that with General Tao, and General Tao betrayed him. So Goku kind of has a history of like repeating some of the same mistakes depending on situations, especially when he's stronger than an opponent. So he already did that with General Tao. He didn't get to do that with the King Piccolo stuff, because funny enough, with King Piccolo, he was not trying to have fun fighting him. But with with Frieza, I'm guessing maybe because he unlocked Super Saiyan, that increased that Saiyan side to enjoy the fight. While with King Piccolo, he was not trying to have fun at all.
Lose his nemesis just yet. But beyond that, Piccolo is the other half to Kami, so Goku can't end his life.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That would mean Kami would pass away as well.
Then Vegeta,
After
he let him
this,
go.
Goku continues with this trend of trying to save people. He even does the same thing with his brother Raditz. While
Didn't
Goku
work
has
out.
Raditz on the floor, Raditz begs for his life and says he'll leave the planet and never come back if Goku spares him. Goku accepts the Saiyan's lies
and not to interrupt his point, but to be fair to Goku, this whole like sparing people thing has worked out more than it hasn't. Sparing people has worked out a little bit more consistently. Hell, even like Frieza, low key, that kind of worked out because Frieza ended up giving Goku his key in the Term of the Power. So the lesson you're talking about of like taking out your villains and everything, that lesson kind of contradicts what Super shows later, where like Frieza helps out Goku, and also Frieza chooses not to kill Goku and Vegeta, and he wants them to get stronger. So yeah, it doesn't really contradict that point, in my opinion.
cares about his family and the Earth, to the point where he is willing to be held accountable and sacrifice his life to stop Raditz.
Yeah,
this time.
that's the great thing about
He was
Goku.
only still alive because of the bad move he made a few minutes ago. When Nappa comes, Goku cripples him to stop him from attacking his friend and son, but is still willing to show him mercy and not ending his life.
Yep, that's correct.
Goku fighting him again, but where maturity comes in is having Goku admit that this is a selfish decision
Yep.
and the wrong one to make in this given situation. The fact that he claims he's going to clobber Frieza for good when he fought him on Earth again. Goku doesn't let Cell escape or get away.
I would agree with that, because like I would assume that Goku killed King Cold and Frieza in future Trunks' timeline, so I would assume that he's correct in that.
Going over the Majin Buu stuff earlier, so I won't repeat myself here. I think I've more than justified Goku not ending.
You know, like, again, even though you mentioned the reason why Goku does the stuff he does in the Buu saga, that doesn't really contradict what I always said either. It's like, yes, he lets Majin Buu go because he wants Goten and Trunks to do it, but like that, you would still argue that's a dumb move to do because Goku has the ability to do so, but he feels like it's not his place. That's still the same thing of like, oh well, he could have killed Frieza, but he felt like that was the bad morality move to do, and he could have had a chance to become a better person. Like, that's still in the same ballpark. So you ignoring that and saying that he's doing it to allow Goten and Trunks to be the hero or Gohan to be the hero, that's still around the same thing. He's using his own morality and judgment to kind of like not do the thing you want him to do, which is kill the opponent. Like, yeah, he learned to kill people more often, but that's still not his default thing to do. He still picks and chooses whether he wants to kill someone because they're ridiculously too strong and he can't do it by himself, or he thinks about sparing them where he's strong enough to break their ego and he's hoping to convert them to the other side because they're no longer a danger. Even though I saw your tweet saying that Moro not being a danger is hilarious, but you can argue that Goku and UI is so overwhelmingly powerful, he felt like he could. He just didn't see that Moro had Miras's freaking hand there, so that's the thing that he didn't have the plan for.
Fat Boo when he had the chance. I don't like the trend of logic checking characters where
Yeah, that's the thing though. He did end but here's the thing, that doesn't contradict my point though. It's like, yes, Goku sometimes take out opponents that he's overwhelmingly stronger than, and then other times when we're around the same strength level and he sees potential in them, he still be like, yo, you can do better than this, or do you train? Things like that. If an opponent is way too strong and he can't win, then when he fuses, or he like needs some help with Spirit Bomb or something like that, he's more willing to kill an opponent.
People go, oh, why didn't he do the most optimal thing possible in this situation? I think that's kind of stupid because I'm very much of the opinion that character flaws are needed to make any character relatable, because every human is inherently flawed.
I agree.
I am, however, a fan of logic checking your character and making sure that they stay consistent, and for the life of me, I can't.
But that's the thing, and I know you're probably going to say this, but Goku, as we've said and I've said in this video, is inconsistent. Like, he's actually an inconsistent type character. You really don't know what he's going to do sometimes. Well, granted, what I've said, I feel like I kind of have an idea how Goku operates, but like, yeah, I don't know. That's how I feel about it.
Cannot see a world where Goku fighting Goku Black in Super Saiyan 2 after knowing he has been ripping Trunks' future apart as a consistent character choice for Goku from Z. Not Kid Buu, not Cell, not Frieza for the second time,
and not your clone either. Stupid green idiot also got dealt. But I would argue Majin Vegeta. Like, granted, you can argue that because Super Saiyan 3 wasn't created at that point, but like, he could have ended Majin Vegeta pretty early and kind of stopped the entire Buu saga in that moment. But I just argue that's writing there, and also argue this moment is writing here as well. And I think this only happens in the anime. So like, so the manga and anime, different continuities there, but yeah, like, you give some good moments to the anime, some good moments to the manga, but yeah.
Goku been willing to be so carefree in front of a threat like this. I want everyone to keep in mind here, yes, Goku is beating this guy or tying with this guy in Super Saiyan 2, but that is super crazy because Goku at this point is far beyond his Super Saiyan God form from Battle.
No, I agree.
And was so carefree, forgetful, and stupid that he forgot the seal to keep Immortal Zamasu locked away.
Okay, so that is a thing that I know a lot of people was mad about. And I'm not really, here's the thing. I can understand that anger. I just wasn't really that mad at the time. But I could just say that's just generally a mistake, and that's just something for the plot to go down. Yeah, like, it's one of those situations where just Goku made a mistake. But I'm not mad at people just saying like this is the worst thing ever. I'm not mad at it, but I just feel that just Goku just made a mistake. It's kind of like how like Gohan missed the earring even though he's in this ultimate state, and then like that's like just one of those situations where just a character just made a mistake
of his powers, and he at least seemed to want to put down gas when it came to it. I'm a little bit split on the last one, and it's Goku promising to bring Frieza back after the Tournament of Power was over.
And also, I respect, like, and even though I'm giving Six a little bit of, you know, shots for, like, not remembering certain things, but I'm glad that, like, even though we're near the end of the video, he is giving credit to different moments. So I hope people are seeing this, because this video is kind of long, so I want to give him credit for that.
For the most part, it did seem like Goku did intend to keep his promise and bring Frieza back to life. But when the tournament was actually won, Frieza claims to know Goku was never going to bring him back in the first place, and the one who actually does it is Whis, and he says it's a gift from Beerus. If Goku was stupid enough to bring Frieza back to life, then that's just another point in my favor. But tricking Frieza to get him to fight for them is a much better move.
Yeah, like I agree here that Goku was probably not gonna. He probably wasn't gonna do that. But there is a chance he probably would have too. But I feel like that's like a thing with Goku as well. But yeah, no, it's debatable. It's debatable, but I do agree that most likely Goku wasn't going to bring him back.
When Vegeta is lecturing him about it, Goku starts defending Frieza, and when Vegeta proposes that Frieza could just...
But is he wrong though? Like, without Frieza, they wouldn't have won. It was literally Goku and Frieza who like beat Jiren, and then Android 17 was last up. So he's not wrong there. It's like defending Frieza isn't bad in this context.
Get stronger and come beat them up. Goku asked if he really think Frieza would do that. Like,
yeah, he's wrong here. Yeah, this is like, yeah, like this is just bad writing here. I'm not gonna lie.
Trained for 10 years, knocking Vegeta and Goku out at full power.
To be fair, he didn't kill them, and he let them go to train to become stronger. So Frieza pulled a Goku on Goku. Okay, so I think that's a good end point there. So let me know in the comment section down below. Do y'all feel like I'm coping too much? Do you feel like I made any good points? How long is this recording? Because I'm going to edit it down a bit. 46 minutes. Yeah, nah, I'm going to have to edit this down a lot. All right. Let me unmute here. So if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. SonTJ out. Peace. Love you all.